Sometimes it feels like the noise and hardship of the world are louder than we can handle. This is 10 Better Minutes, a place to hear some quieter, more measured stories from recent days. Here, you will find honest glimpses of the world that acknowledge difficulties but also highlight moments of care and decency. I am your host, Ian Rhodes, and I am glad you are here for a short break with me. Today's stories offer a gentle reminder that there are still acts of kindness unfolding beyond the headlines. But first, we will begin with a story from Myrtle Beach about a restaurant owner who found $12,000 in cash stored away in old tool chests and took a moment to return it to its rightful owner. Sak Yengjun Tuek was getting ready to open lemongrass pho and Thai cuisine in Myrtle Beach when he began clearing out old tool chests left behind by the previous owner. In the middle of that sorting, he noticed something inside a sunglasses case. He opened it, and there it was, $12,000 in cash. His first thought was simple. This was not his money. He started with the contact number he had on file, but it was disconnected. Instead of letting that stop him, he kept searching. While live on the air, he reached out to the local NBC affiliate WMBF, and he remembered another saved number under a different name. Then he called. He spoke with the rightful owner on the phone as the news team watched the connection go through, and the relief on his face was easy to feel. The money was returned, and the story spread through the community with a clear message. Honesty is not only a principle, it is also a set of choices you make when no one is forcing you to. In a world that can feel hurried and suspicious, this moment reminded people how trust can be earned. When someone finds $12,000, the kind thing to do is to find the owner too. After years of war left many people rebuilding their lives from the ground up, one simple question keeps coming back. What if the next step was not only survival, but skill, purpose, and steady income? In Sierra Leone, pastor-turned-farmer Mahmoud Samai answered that question with farming on crutches. He turned a small farm into a living classroom where participants with limb loss can learn sustainable farming and then carry those skills home to their villages. It is not just lessons from a distance. People live and work on the farm as they study practical techniques, plan small commercial plots, and build routines that fit their bodies and their land. Samai was already known for organizing community support through the Single-Leg Amputee Sports Association back in 2001, with competitions in Freetown and across several provinces. Later, he brought that same spirit of structure and belonging into farming training, and the program keeps expanding. In 2024, one group designed a more accessible wheelbarrow using bicycle wheels, timber, and bamboo. A reminder that problem-solving can be part of the curriculum, too. One participant, Mustafa Bokhari, runs a community farm. He raises goats, grows food he can eat and sell, and keeps bees, turning daily work into real options. By now, Farming on Crutches has welcomed its 100th participant, and there is a wait list. The story leaves you with a quiet kind of hope. When people learn workable skills together, dignity and income can grow side by side. If you have ever wondered what it takes for a story to keep going, this one is beautifully grounded in something you can almost touch: yarn, patience, and a public place to remember. In Raleigh, a quilt began as crocheted squares made inside prison and grew into a lasting mosaic in Dix Park. Here's the starting point. During the COVID period, prison visits and classes were canceled, and in a minimum custody unit, more than 100 incarcerated people contracted the virus in a single week. Amid that disruption, work opportunities outside were also slipping away, while parents and children continued to be separated. Shirley Grandy, who served nearly 6 years in the NC Correctional Institution for Women, became the Public Arts Project Coordinator for Arise Collective. Just before Mother's Day in 2021, the handmade and totally special prison quilt was finished, and the women were invited to tie ribbons on their squares. What happened next makes the hope feel practical. 4 artists, Carlos Gonzalez Garcia, David Wilson, Eliza Redman, and Owens Daniels, spent 3 years transforming the prison quilt into a durable public mosaic. The Stitching Stories reimagined display opened at Dix Park, and Grandy now leads tours there, sharing what reentry can look like when the community shows up. On July 14th, 2026, she shared the story with the NC Joint Reentry Council. The exhibit runs at Dix Park until September, then moves to Wilmington. And somehow, in that shift from private stitchwork to open-air art, you can feel connection become a kind of invitation. There's something about small, unexpected rescues that quietly reminds us how much care still lives in the everyday world. After an East Oakland vehicle fire on Wednesday evening, an Oakland firefighter crew from E29 noticed a pigeon in distress. The bird was not just nearby, it seemed to approach them, as if it had nowhere else to turn. Smoke inhalation was suspected, and you could feel the crew's concern in how quickly they moved to help. Instead of walking past, they treated it like a real emergency. They administered oxygen to the pigeon, giving it a calm chance to breathe again while they stayed with it and watched for improvement. Soon, the moment everyone hopes for arrived. The pigeon cleared out its lungs and it flew away. That simple outcome mattered, not because it solved every problem, but because it returned a small life to the sky. Footage of the rescue has since traveled widely online, turning into a little wave of relief for strangers watching from their own living rooms. And it leaves you thinking about the quiet power of showing up. Sometimes kindness looks like attention, sometimes it looks like oxygen, and sometimes it looks like trusting that a gentle push toward recovery can be enough to let hope take flight again. When you hear that someone is dying, it can put you on the spot. It is not that people do not care. It is that they suddenly do not know what words will land gently. A simple Instagram reel from ABC Australia changed that uncertainty into something usable. In it, terminal patients spoke directly about what they wish others would avoid and what would actually help. Several people asked listeners not to rush in with pity, like saying, "That is horrible, you poor thing," or leading with an immediate, "I am so sorry," as if grief is the only thing you can offer. They also encouraged you not to hunt for a miracle cure, and not to pull religion into it with questions like, "Have you prayed to God?" Instead, the tone they wanted was steady and ordinary. One of the most practical suggestions was to ask, "What help do you need right now?" Not as a formality, but with follow-through. Bring something specific, like dinner by Thursday. Offer a ride to the doctor. Keep the conversation going about everyday life, and if your presence is what matters most, you can even do that without forcing language. And there was comfort in one clear idea. Sometimes saying nothing is fine. Listening can be the kindness. One person even shared, "I wish I knew what to say, but I am here, and I will continue to be here if you would like me to." The takeaway is simple. Care does not have to be perfect. It just has to be present, respectful, and specific enough to be real. As always, I have a wonderful tip for you to help with your mental reset and to find a little more ease in the middle of ordinary life. Today, let us talk about a no refresh rule during stressful moments, because when your mind is loud, it often tries to fix everything by checking, rereading, scrolling, and searching for reassurance all over again. Here's the rule. The next time you feel that surge of stress, you pause before you refresh anything. That means you do not open the app to see if anything changed. You do not reread the same message 10 times. You do not restart the conversation in your head like it is a video you can rewind until it makes sense. Instead, give yourself 1 minute to just feel what is happening in your body. Notice the breath moving in. Notice the shoulders settling, even a little. Say quietly, "I am having the urge to refresh." I do not have to obey it. Then do one small action that supports you, not the chase for certainty. Drink water, stand up, step outside for a breath of air. Put one hand on your chest and let your nervous system know you are still in charge. You are not denying reality. You are choosing timing. All right, friends, that is the end of this episode of 10 Better Minutes. I hope it left you with a steadier feeling, the kind that comes from remembering that there are still people doing decent things, making room for one another, and showing up in quiet ways that do not always make headlines. If you want a few more grounded stories to clear out the noise in your day, please follow or subscribe, and new episodes are posted every day. This is Ian Rhodes with 10 Better Minutes. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.